This book is in memory of my mother, Shirley Ross. And I'm going to read a very short chapter called Ants with Plans. On my hands and knees on the sidewalk in the sun, I watched the undulating mass of red ants crawling all over each other, chaotic, mechanical, glistening. Each of those ants knew exactly where it was going, or if not, it would find out when it got there. The sun was like a huge magnifying glass funneling light directly onto us, me and the ants. Kids on two legs passed by me while I crouched on all fours, watching ants on their sixes, and I knew that times had changed. When I was a child and I'd found one of these incredible civilizations in between the square pink patio bricks in our backyard, I'd run to the fridge and pull out a bowl of green Jell-O. There was always Jell-O at hand back then, and I'd plop a big glob on the ant colony. I could look right through the green Jell-O and see the ants frozen in flight like the citizens of Pompeii. I like looking at the pictures of the fleeing citizens of Pompeii in my National Geographic magazine. Munus, ingens munus. Their arms were flexed and their legs bent, just like they were jogging to Yorkdale Mall, where I used to like to go to check out the lizards in the pet shop. The citizens of Pompeii had no warning when the huge glob of green Jell-O came hurtling out of Vesuvius and plopped down on them. They were frozen in their poses of escape for centuries. I imagined that in tiny ant magazines, centuries from now, the ants I had killed would be depicted in artful photo spreads. Worker ants, frozen in time, caught in mid-scurry, perfectly preserved for ant archaeologists and ant anthropologists and ant journalists laboring feverishly in a world devoid of human life. I mean, this would be after the nuclear holocaust, which would wipe out all humans but leave intact the insects, my grandfather's teeth, and my Hardy Boy books, including the case of the missing patriarchal capitalist society. The Jell-O siege was the humane alternative to the much slower and far less pleasant slaughter of ants, one by one with a magnifying glass. I didn't want to actually cook the ants and watch them writhe in pain as their limbs incinerated. I didn't get any pleasure from that. My mom also said that Jell-O was refreshing as she plunked down each of our bowls after a roast beef dinner, and I felt that I was giving the ants a refreshing death, a lime-flavored death. Now, though, crouching on the sidewalk across the road from the strip mall where my mother had assassinated Rolf Kober while cancer ate her body, I only observed the ants. I had absolutely no impulse to kill them. I wondered how many there were, and I pictured the strata beneath the Earth's surface that was teeming with ants, red ones and black ones and even brown ants. It amazed me that none of the children returning from school stopped to kneel beside me on the sidewalk and watch the ants. Kids didn't watch ants anymore. They had other things to watch. The frenetic cluster of red ants was like a shifting mass of molasses. I knew that if I extended one finger and placed the tip just over the little ant mountain, they would stream up my hand and my arm and my neck, ribbons of red ants flowing reverse rivulets up my body like raindrops streaking upward on the passenger window of a car. Like a humming blanket of ants covering Charlton Heston as, teeth clenched tight, he fought like hell to save his plantation, goddammit. I couldn't imagine my mother actually pulling the trigger of a gun, or even knowing how. I couldn't imagine her putting down her Dominion bags and drawing a gun from the big pocket of her camel-colored coat and pointing the gun and shooting a man in the head. But when I remembered her doing it, then I could imagine. Thanks very much.